Okay, I haven't watched this at all, so I'm just gonna be watching.
We shall see, brother.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Ready for battle. 5, 4.
So, first thing to note is game plan, especially when it considers the map. You're rocking a Hanzo and a Genji, two heroes that are pretty good. Okay. Of note, it's not meta. It's not meta of Widow. It's not meta of Ashe. It's interesting. But I see that you have the ball ready to do some slamma-jamma walk around. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen against their team comp, but we'll see.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Lock it down. Get it done.
Unlucky. Something was going to happen to you if you had enough time to react to it, but you just didn't. I don't know.
See through the dragon's eyes.
That Sonic didn't get any value. I'll be sad if you keep using Sonic in that way. The Widowmaker is actually scared of your logs, which is very impressive. She's already giving you respect, and you're going to have to go... You don't want to keep playing that, though, right?
Marked by the dragon.
Because Widow is still peeking that angle, right? For like 2 seconds, Widow is still peeking that angle even when you're in that rotation, right? Also, you have Andrew on this, and I don't know if he communicated it to you, but you just have to know that you can only shoot one log at a Widowmaker one time to guarantee your safety. Good Storm Arrow usage here. They're playing pretty meta, but with a Junkrat, which is kind of typical for Temple of Anubis. Oh my god, do we have to listen to that? It'll be smart to stay in your battlefield here, and I do wonder if there's an opportunity for you to flank up here, and I'm curious to see what you're going to do here. Shooting arrows down the Roadhog's throat isn't a bad idea. Yeah. Nothing there. Map knowledge. Nice shot. Like I said, you gotta shoot one arrow at the location where you think a Widowmaker will be before you can die from repeaking. Alright. Unfortunately, your team is dying. That BAP can't pressure the Mercy away. You didn't get any heals, so you're gonna die there.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Never surrender.
Your tanks were slow to create space for you, so sometimes you're just gonna have to go do what your Genji did, what Andrew did. So she knew where you were at. She knew where you were gonna be, and you peeked it. Right? You knew where she was. She knew where you were. She's hit scan, and if she guesses right, because you can peek left or right, if she guesses the spot you're in, she can click your head before you can let loose an arrow. If you are going to take these, we have to make sure that we have an arrow loosed, ready to go, pulled all the way back, which you do. And you can't overzealously peek, right? You know she's going to be somewhere between here and here. I mean, the safe thing is to do is just go out the way you came, right? Make her waste her time. Hold that angle because she doesn't know where you go. There's enough vertical cover here. You just come over the top like you did to get in. And then take another angle, whether it be left, try to hit the Moira, or whether it be right and try to hit this hog, right? Because you were already pressuring at the hog, but then you died to this. Widow Duel is scary for Hanzo because defensive Widow beats aggressive Hanzo, like attacking.
At the beginning.
But attacking Hanzo can beat defensive Widow. Good log. Right, and that's Mondo value. You have to rotate to see that Mercy. And your tanks also have to be able to push up. I mean, it's a hog. It's a hog with no main heal, right? And so when you hit that pick, I hope you're just yelling. Plan has clearly been Nano Dragon, or Nano Blade. Yep, I like the repositioning to high ground. I think you could have done it a second earlier. Here, Anna's in a bad spot. Your Anna's in a horrible spot. That Zarya still hasn't moved and nobody has pressured her. You're at the part in the fight where big logs. You could drop dragons if you needed this, which I think you could. Yeah. Unlucky duel against the Widow. You just have to hit more arrows than she hits headshots.
Start
Happens.
over at the beginning.
Objective A captured. New defense point. Objective B.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
She has sights, so you can't peek her almost at all. You're looking for Grav Dragon, I assume. The play needs to be Grav Dragon. Your supports are playing too aggressive and they keep getting hit, but nobody's turning to them. Sights are still up. Nice shot. If you're ever playing ladder and your combo is Grav Dragon, and your Zarya is just holding it, just say hit one, hit two. And you're like, it'll be fine, but the combo has to happen. You have to go first to win with Grav Dragon. Because we saw them try to do Grav Whole Hog, and they did it second, and because it's 2 CP, you don't win this outright, but you win most of it, right? So this is a very typical attack.
So easily.
I think you do have the flexibility to get off the Hanzo here. If you're like, hey, I want to just go Tracer, or I want to go Genji, something that can more aggressively assault the Widowmaker. Remember, she has sights here again. So every time you peek the angle, the Ashe or the Widow could headshot you, and then you're in a lot of danger. Yeah. Make sure your movement is helping your aim. I just want to look at. I want you to watch what happens when you're trying to shoot this Zarya, and sometimes even when you're trying to shoot these Widows. You go jittery, like left right, left right, flick, left right, right. And you're going left right so rapidly that your brain and your arm aren't processing the movement. So you're actually screwing up your aim, and you're missing these easy shots, right? Somebody else would be like, oh man, I hit those shots every day. Arge would hit every shot right there. But it's the movement there. I mean, you could have just taken these shots standing still. I know you're worried about the Widow, which is above, but with Widow, you actually want to jitter peek a little bit in longer strides. Left, right. Because if you just go left, right, your head doesn't actually move that much. I think I can draw it. Right, so this is short staggers. But your head stays about in the middle. Against a Widow, if this is your head, and you do longer staggers, you go... The Widow has to pick, hey, am I going to line up the middle? Or do I just kind of shoot down the middle of this pretty consistent colored line? This might make more sense if you think about it from the Widowmaker's perspective. Because Widow doesn't like to follow heads that move left, right, especially at this big rate. Widow likes to just snipe it down the middle and say, hey, he's going to pass right and bang. Right and bang. So this is a less consistent pattern than this is. So I prefer these movements because your Hanzo arrows can also hit shots more easily. You're like, I'll go left, and then I'll stop my motion, and then it's like you're standing still again. If you have more questions, ask me about that. But you don't kill this Zarya, and that's fine. You'll notice that in your Widow duels, you're like, oh, I can't keep my headbox so close. This is really helpful for Ana players because Ana players' heads are so weird and funky, and she has so much head bob that movement like left, right, left, right, left, right is so effective. But with Hanzo, his head stays mostly in the same spot. And you'll find a lot of DPS players or DPS heroes have very consistent headboxes. It's hard to headshot Ana, to me. And I think other people feel the same way. Let's carry on. She's getting code. Good job reading the movement.
See that which is unseen.
I want you to take note of your Sonic arrows. Because sometimes you're just shooting Sonic because it's off cooldown. Sonic arrow is so important as a recon tool. Oh my god, this is a 20-minute VOD. Okay. And when you use your Sonic arrow, it has to be to see people through walls, or to catch out flankers, or to put where you think somebody will peek, especially without a shield, right? So you can Sonic a Wrecking Ball to know where he's going, but the Wrecking Ball is, game sense wise, you know the Wrecking Ball is always going to roll through or roll from the side, or it's too easy to know what the Wrecking Ball will do. But like if you Sonic the high ground, which you have in the past, you can see where the Widow is without having to look at it, right? If she's wide peeking, if she's short angle peeking down on top. So this Sonic gets no value, not only because you didn't hit the shot, because if you hit the ball, he's just going to roll. You know ball players. Look where he goes in the next 6 seconds. He's going back in. Right? He knows you're solo. And you know, you're smart enough to know that that's what balls will do. So that Sonic doesn't do anything. So you really have to think more about what you're using Sonic for, because it's temporary wall hacks and an 8-meter radius. He's still in. Okay. And see, just like that, you had the game sense to know that she would peek you again. You're getting really close to that Grav Dragon, so I'd be disappointed to see you. And this is a perfect example of the Sonic arrow, right? You zoned out the threat because she's like, oh, I don't really want to be on Sonic arrow. I heard it. Valk needs to hit the Grav. And that's big. That should win the game. Good target prio. You're hitting what your team is hitting, and there you go. Right round.
With every
All right, let's see what happens on defense.
With honor, redemption.
So you're on double sniper. You've substituted the Widow for your Hanzo here, which is fine.
Ready for battle.
This is a fun Sonic arrow. I like it. Their comp remains the same.
4,
Your comp basically the same, but
1.
Andrew's switched.
Attackers incoming.
That Sonic arrow is useless, right? It lasts for 8 seconds. You know they're either going to push left or right. You might as well just shoot normal arrows down this lane, right? You're going to shoot your normal logs down this lane. Having knowledge of when they're going to come, you might hit it ahead, you might not. But Sonic might be really helpful, right? Sonic's like a 9-second cooldown? 12-second cooldown, right? So your Sonic could be super helpful if you wanted to... You saw them pushing right? And you decide, I'm going to rotate to this position. You drop your Sonic in the middle of this room. You and your team can see when they're pushing through this doorway, right? Because you can either try for the lucky headshot with a Sonic arrow, which might make it like 10% more likely, or you can give that knowledge to your team. I'm going to illustrate it. So if you Sonic this wall, this whole radius gets wall hacks, and you can sit right under this camera here, right, until, hey, there's a red body. It's not the healer that I want. It's not a one-shot potential. Oh, hey, there's their mercy. I'm going to climb up and then hit it in the head, right? And then they're down a main heal. They're down an off heal. You could even shoot the arrow into the courtyard, and then you have vision on the entire courtyard. But what you've done here at the start of the game is Sonic not to see their comp, but to try to hit a lucky shot. The issue here is they can path left to right. Tank can take that shot, no big deal. And there's just a lot more things that can go wrong with a Sonic. So your Sonic usage is kind of poor, and that it's not getting very much value. Look, you hit a head. You almost could have hit the same head without that Sonic. I know you saw the Zarya for a second. She got half HP. You're 20% to ult. It feels good. It feels good. And when healers go first, which won't be for very long at the rank you're playing, most healers have started figuring out, hey, if I go first, I get dinked and we have to wait 30 extra seconds to push. Cause and effect. That wasn't even on Sonic, was it?
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Keep an eye on your health and call for me if you need assistance.
The Widow wasn't on Sonic at all. And you're just better, right? You're just better. This is what I was saying, how a defensive sniper is more likely to win against an attacking sniper. So that was awesome. Interesting positioning, because you could do the same thing that you're doing from here, from where you were just sitting. I know you want to change it up against a Widow. Oh, sleeping ball. Ball dies there. But look at how much space we gave up doing that, right? We gave up a free Widowmaker grapple because she got to do that while we were rotating. Like I said earlier, if we stayed on this positioning, and we were just kind of chucking logs down, seeing if we could hit any other lucky shots. Oh, hey, we slept the ball behind us. Let's take this high ground. I'm going to shoot an arrow down onto it and then flip because the hog is rotating for it. Trust your team to rotate for it so that you can direct your arrows back down main, so that you can prevent your Zarya from getting attacked by 6 things. You can prevent this Widowmaker from feeling like she has free headshots. Alright, so there you go. That's not you. Your Ana's not healing you. I'll be very sad if you peek again. Good job to have the heads up to do that. Pick a target. This happens. You went on a cold streak. It happens. Don't feel too bad about it. Right, you're in plat. You're supposed to be a little bit inconsistent hitting these big shots, and that's okay. I would have liked to see you take another angle, right? Even if it has to be here onto the Widow. Even if it has to go back through these stairs to climb up to here so that we can contest this Widow. Because right now all she's doing, even with her 1 HP, is just kind of preventing squishies from peeking out onto point. So there's Zarya, high charge Zarya, and their ball get to boop you guys around, and you will lose this fight, yeah? So you felt like you were in a box here. It felt like you were in a box when you had to stick in these 2 little rooms, just like your whole team. And that's how they won Temple of Anubis, right? They won because space was made, and you guys were stuck in this worse space. And as a DPS, we have to say, hey, if you step into our space, you're under threat that I will headshot you. I will kill you, and your space will be for naught.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective marked.
Decent Sonic arrow, right? You're looking to see if the Widow is up there. She's not. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's understandable why you would do that.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
I'm not going to be able to do that.
by the dragon.
Heroes never die.
You're in panic mode. I don't know if it felt like you were in panic mode, but you were. I think a lot of it has to do with you saw 525, you lost first fight on 2CP, right? I just want you to watch this life again and see what plan you had, and if you had one at all.
The
Right?
dragons.
Plan 1, see if you can find the widow pick, right? You're looking for a pick. I can tell that's your play style. You want to pick so that you win the fight. But you also sometimes say, oh my god, there's a ball on me. I want to headshot this guy. I want to damage him a little bit.
Marked by the dragon.
Sonic to block that flank. And we're panicking about this ball. And then, oh my god, there's a grab right there. I have to shut down the pushing. And oh my god, there's a Zarya in our face. And then you get shot in the back, right? And you can see your whole team crumbled. It wasn't just you. The whole team crumbled at this point. So again, tanks not making enough space, you not being in a position where you get a Mondo value. And you tried to take it, but to get to this one, as Hanzo, as Genji, you just have to climb this one and then jump. Or you can do the classic jump, jump up to here. But by the time you wanted this position, it was too late because they've already pushed this first choke. If any time, oh my god, we're going back in like 2 seconds. If at any point the enemy gets through this choke for free, mostly for free, the defenders are at a big disadvantage, especially since you guys lost that first fight on 2CP. I'm not sure why we swapped to Monkey there, but we did. And you can't control your friendly's picks. But because we lost that first fight, we had way less ults. So I would urge you to find targets that are important, right? You're on 2CP. You know that the way 2CP wins is if the attackers pick 2 people on point. If you die up in choke, most of the time the defense can rally, but if you die on point, 2CP defense dies on point, the round is over. So fighting back on point is not so strong, right? Look at your Ashe's position. This position, much better than this one. You could even sit over here, peek up this wall, and then fall back down onto point when you needed to, right? So there's a lot of different positions that are just a lot better than the ones we're in. Be it the high ground disc, be it the medium high ground back point, or be it kind of a more aggressive angle right here. Because if this is a good positioning, because even with the double snipers of them, if the tanks get onto point, the enemy tanks get onto point, you can drop down, you can find the mega, you can rotate back to where healers like to play, right? You also have to note that Arana's in a bad position, and if you see that, you have to call it out and say, hey, wait, can you play near me? I'll need these heals. And then this dragon is just too late because you're not anticipating, you didn't track ults, right? If you'd been able to hear that grab and then go, oh shit, we're getting pushed, and then kind of cut it off, it would have been Mondo, but because it's too late. You cut off the stall, but Zar's already been picked. Your Mercy, who is in Valk, died, and because your Ashe got stuck. Think anything interesting happened? A Widow switch. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna see the Widow v Widow duel. That's a bad start. I'm guessing she was slightly better. Are you looking for that early grapple? Oh no. Yeah, she's mechanically strong. So if you feel weaker mechanically than the opponent, opponent's Widow, you have to be able to do other things much better than her, right? Be that position, be that space creation, be that Doomfist, right? Doomfist, just I'm a better cooldown usager. Tracer, I can move around better, and I will be able to contest you or your heals. And sometimes we have to run away from these Widow duels. You've seen it several times where I'm like, I'm not getting any value on Widow. She's won every duel on me. And so I'm going to go swap to a different hero. Even though I would like the Widow value, right now I'm not going to get any value there. So I might as well go something that I get a little bit of value on. And I see that you've got a monkey to try to help that. I think you guys were really worried about this Widow. I'll see if you guys stick on the Widow, and yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Rendez-vous avec la mort.
Good shot. Good shot. Nice.
30 seconds remaining.
All right, I know it's tempting to hold the low ground because you're like, oh, I'm hitting big shots. At this point, you can go with your grapple because you know if the ball goes on you here, your monkey gets uncontested. Your Kree gets uncontested. Your Zarya gets free bubbles on it, right? I don't know why the Zarya is so late here. I think the Zarya must have gotten picked early. But if the ball goes on you, you're distracting that attention. You've already gotten 2 picks in this fight. You've done more than enough. And if you take a third-person ball with you, that's big. So use your grapple here. And exactly. And you had that instinct. I just had it 1 second faster, right?
I need assistance.
And Ana didn't heal. In that case, yeah, you gotta turn and say, Ana, ninja, please, 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 please. Right. Die towards the healers that could heal you, instead of, I've got 7 HP and I'm dead. It's scary. It's scary. No self-peel. Where's your Ana grenade?
10
No,
seconds
dude.
remaining.
Now you have my attention.
And so the fight was actually a lot less decided, mostly because you got hit by that Ash Dynamite. That grapple is a wasted cooldown because you could be above choke right now. You could be on high ground. You could be in all sorts of different places. Every time you hit a head that doesn't die, hey, that's one. Bodies, that's one. Good cleanup here. Great cleanup. This makes me curious why you were on Hanzo instead of Widow earlier, because you are holding your own on these as long as you're expecting the Widow and she doesn't catch you off guard.
No one can hide from my sight.
Good sights. Right, avoid those hook shots. If she's gonna hard scope you down, that's fine. She can.
10 seconds remaining.
And you probably didn't want to take that grapple there, right? Your cooldown usage was poor there, right? Because you wanted to get really close. But you could have just jumped, made this jump, and grappled up here. Great sight line. Or could have just fallen, rotated, grappled up to here. Great sight line. But right now, we're stuck in the trench. And the only thing that we can shoot is something that puts themselves out of position.
Let them up. Step right up.
And you know that. You know that. Don't panic.
Haven't had enough.
I know you didn't get that Widow kill, but you essentially killed her because she wasn't getting any value elsewhere. You guys were literally 1 for 1. I hope you're calling that Mercy. I hope your team is following up on it. Big shot. It's hard to hit a Valking Mercy. You're kind of nuts. And I mean, it's just taken too long for you guys to clean up the defenders, so the Widowmaker's going to respawn and get you killed. I think I'm going to call the VOD there. If you really need me to watch the last 5 minutes of it, DM me. But I think there's more than enough information for you to work on here. Cooldown usage. Be them Sonics on point 1. Oh my god, that's actually so obnoxious. On point 1. And good positioning, right? Sometimes you would give up worse positioning. You gave up better positioning just for the heck of it. You played 2 sniper characters, and you know about sniper sight lines, right? If you sit up here, be it as Hanzo or as Widow, you get this whole range of sight. But if you sit down here, you get the same sight, but have a harder time falling back, harder time playing cover, because other things can shoot back at you much simpler. Even be them from main choke. This line of sight is so strong because of fall off damage and the fact that you have none. A Kree can dink you 3 times as Widow or as Hanzo from you sitting all the way back here, and you will live. So I urge you to look at your positioning. Positioning, number 1. Cooldown usage, number 2. That's a shiny orb right down there. And those things are going to be the most successful for you. Keep working on your mechanics. They can always be better. Oh, we also talked about that jittering peak. And if I didn't do that well enough, let me know. But I truly believe that longer peaks, longer 80, 80, 80, 80, are going to be sometimes more successful than these short ones. Because this is so much less consistent for your brain than this. This, you can shoot. You can shoot. But here you're like, oh shit, oh shit. Well, fuck it. Let's just get into practice range for like 1 second. I apologize, I haven't played in a little bit, but this should still be good enough. I'm going to use Ash here just because she's got a lot of bullets. Let me minimize this. Okay. So, right here is a great example. Right, if this is our target, and we don't want to get headshot from anywhere, right? It's great to do this motion, right? But see how I'm just trying to stay on the orange. And you can train your body to do this. And you can train your body. But if I'm just spamming AD like I am now, it's so hard for my brain to hold on to that positioning. It actually makes me sick doing this kind of thing. And you're not really changing much, right? If I'm spamming 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, all I'm doing right here is making this shot so much harder for myself. Because if this is the headboxes are big in Overwatch. I'm actually not really moving my headbox at all because this is a headshot. This is a headshot. And if that's the basis of my AD, I might as well just stand still. So I leave that with you.
You have to watch out for
Get good with that. Let's see if I can do it on a training bot. And I'm only going to hit these shots when I'm more consistent. It's really drastic when you can see it on a hero that only shoots once. This is a common tactic from Counter-Strike, where you didn't want to get headshot, but if you moved, your gun became less accurate. So what you developed was, I'm going to go right, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to left, stop, right, left, right? Because now your aim is 100% accurate. So there's actually some really great Counter-Strike videos on this same topic. So I'm only going to release my arrow once I stop moving A or D. Stop. Stop.
My arrow
Stop.
finds its
Double
mark.
kill.
Stop. Stop. And because I'm not doing this left, right, left, right, left, right, I don't have to worry about, oh man, oh god. Which way is they gonna move? Oh, shit. Oh man. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.